Hello and welcome. My name is Emily Nielsen, and I'm currently a second-year student in the Master's of Science in Nutrition and Integrative Health at Maryland University of Integrative Health. I'm on my way to becoming a certified nutritionist, and I have a short presentation for you today regarding infant allergies. The presentation will include a brief description of what triggers an allergic reaction, some relevant life cycle periods and events that contribute to the likelihood of being allergic, and what you as parents, future parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, or guardians can do to prevent, treat, and even cure infant allergies. The number of infants suffering from allergic reactions to foods, environmental factors, and chemical substances is increasing steadily, making this a relevant topic for our time. According to the CDC, which reported that childhood allergies increased 50% between 1997 and 2011, with numbers ranging from nearly 6 to 9 million cases of seasonal and skin allergies and tens of millions spent on management of food-related allergies, and that was in 2012. So while current reports haven't been published for this year in 2016, it would be safe to say that medical professionals, teachers, and families are noting a steady increase in the number and severity of both food and environmentally related allergies in infants and students. So there's many relevant life cycles for this presentation. New research is showing that allergic tendencies can be linked to not just what happens to an infant after its birth, but in regards to the health of the parents before birth and the time spent in utero. So the relevant life cycles and concerns for this presentation are preconception, which would be the period of time in months or years before a child is conceived, and that takes into consideration both the maternal and paternal health. Some concerns would be the folate status of the mother, gut health of both of the parents, birth control that may alter the hormone status or nutrient and some nutrient deficiencies in the mother, caffeine consumption, and antibiotic use. During pregnancy, which would be to delivery, which would be from the moment of conception until the delivery of the child, which is roughly 9 months. Some concerns would be malnutrition for the mother or infant, gut health, choline or folate deficiencies, exposure to bacteria, and antibiotic use. And then in infancy, which for this presentation we're considering birth to 2 years. And some concerns for the infant would be, once again, gut health, exposure to environmental or toxins of any kind, antibiotic use. So I wanted to give you a description of some of the different types of allergies that you may encounter or you may have already encountered and be concerned with in your infant. Hay fever or seasonal allergies is often caused by pollen or other environmental factors. Food allergies, which can often begin as sensitivities and turn into full-blown allergies. There's atopic dermatitis or eczema affecting the skin, which can often be related to food sensitivities, which most people don't realize. And of course, environmental or chemical exposures. And then asthma, which results in inflamed airways with bronchial spasms and excess mucus production. So while all these allergic reactions produce differing symptoms at their physiological core, they mostly follow a standard allergic path. So when the allergen enters the body for the first time, it's recognized by the body as a foreign invader. So the immune system takes over, sending immunoglobulin E, which learns about the invasive allergen and along with lymphocytes and other immune regulators goes to defend the body against it. So then the IgE binds to the basophils and mast cells, which release inflammatory substances such as histamines, prostaglandins, and interleukins, which further the allergic reactions. The second time the allergen is introduced into the body, it binds immediately to the IgE, which now recognizes and remembers it, and then directly links to the basophils and mast cells, immediately initiating the inflammation response. So in basic terms, that is how moderate to severe allergies are born, and why each exposure causes a stronger response as the body's defense grows against whatever allergen triggered the immune response in the first case. So, one theory suggests that tight junctions are largely responsible for allergic reactions. Because these tight junctions close epithelial cells, which lines the intestines, lungs, skin, etc., their job is to stop the allergen from coming into contact with the immune system and mounting that allergic response that we just talked about. So babies in utero and infants with underformed tight junction, or toddlers with compromised membrane health in the gut or skin, are at higher risk of developing allergies, is what they're finding. Okay, so now that you're all worried about it, the question is, what can we do to prevent it? Well, obviously, like we talked about, maternal health is key. There's some research going on right now that's linking probiotic use and gut health in the mother to directly influencing the infant's gut health and ability to fight allergic reactions. Another way and a great line of defense for infants is breast milk. So there's a lot of research that shows breastfeeding babies is a great way to build up their immune system and to prevent allergies. There's also been a correlation shown between the age of infants or toddlers that are breastfed too. So for example, the longer they are breastfed, the lower the likelihood of developing allergies. So this slide has a lot of big words on it that you're welcome to come back to look at later. But I did want to note one thing at the bottom, and that is that I found a study in regards with mice that showed that allergens that the mother came into contact with actually produced regulatory cells in her breast milk that increased resistance to the in the infant to that specific allergen. So whatever the mother was exposed to, the baby had an increased resistance to that specific allergen. Now, I do want to point out that breastfeeding can be a sore subject for many women, and while there are many organizations, midwives, and lactation specialists that can help with a mother who struggles to breastfeed, I don't want anyone who is listening to this to feel badly or to look down on a friend or relative that didn't or couldn't nurse their babies. In our community where we live currently in Eastern Washington, there are many women who will actually donate breast milk to those mamas who are unable to produce for many reasons. And like I mentioned, there are many resources out there if you or someone you know is struggling in this area, and I've listed those at the end of the presentation. The truth is, as parents, we do the best we can with what we have. Okay, so now that we've gotten to the point where we perhaps have or know an infant that has some form of allergies, what can we do about it? So there's many protocols out there to help treat and repair the infant allergic response. The two of my favorites I've listed on this presentation. And those are the 4R program by Dr. Aviva Ram, which I would recommend for mild to moderate allergies, and the GAPS protocol by Dr. Natasha Campbell McBride, which will be on the next slide, and is a more dramatic program for severe allergies. So Dr. Ram has a 4-step protocol she educates her patients with that involves removing potential allergens with an elimination diet that typically removes corn, soy, nuts, dairy, and gluten from the diet, then replacing what the body needs as far as vitamins and minerals, fats, carbs, and protein, and she often recommends a digestive enzyme and a good multivitamin at this point. Then repairing damage that has already occurred in the body with a variety of minerals and herbs, and re-inoculating the child by reestablishing a healthy microbiome so that further allergens cannot trigger an allergic response and become a problem. So you can find out more about Dr. Ram's Integrative Health Protocol in one of her many books that are available, or on her website, which actually has a special section called Healthy Kids University that deals specifically with issues related to infants and children. The second protocol worth mentioning is rather severe, but I have personally seen amazing results in both healing the body from severe food, contact, or environmental allergies, and the dramatic effect it has on children with autism or other learning disabilities. I've listed the basic steps here, but which you can see are very involved. But if you decide this is a good route for your infant or toddler, you would definitely want to make sure to buy the book, Gut and Psychology Syndrome, and have the support of your pediatrician or nutritionist. And depending on where you live, there is potential for finding a certified GAPS specialist in your area that could help guide you through the protocol. Although I have seen many people succeed on their own with this diet, and there is a support group online at gapsdiet.com as well. So some of the things we've talked about are gut health, which benefit from digestive enzymes, and are used in both the GAPS and the 4R program, and probiotics, proper nutrition, so vitamin intake during the allergy protocols, and I thought I'd give you some of my favorite brands of these items from companies that I've researched and found to be quite reliable. So for probiotics for the mother, you want to make sure that you have some variety in your probiotics. So Innate brand, Claire Labs, Megaspore, and BioCult are all ones that I've personally used and found to have great variety and high number. For the infant, Seeking Health Probiotic Infant, Garden of Life Raw, which is a powder, which is really easy to use for kids and then infants and toddlers. And then Claire Labs is another good one. For digestive enzymes, once again, Claire Labs and Garden of Life. And then for multivitamins, I would recommend for the breastfeeding mom, Seeking Health or Biotics brand. If you could find a prenatal with choline, which is not very typical, I think that would be really beneficial. Vitamin Code Kids ProThera Vitatab for children or infants and toddlers. So some things you can do is to start with the elimination diet. Now there's lots of resources online that offer recipes and food lists that avoid the major allergens, but I really think to be successful it would be helpful to get the support of an integrative practitioner, whether that's a pediatrician, nutritionist, or allergy specialist. And if your infant has moderate to severe allergies, it can be really challenging to find social and emotional support, so I would recommend finding a community of parents that are dealing with the same issues, whether local or online, and I've posted some links to potential groups on the next page. Do continue to follow up with your pediatrician or doctor to keep them in the loop of what you're trying to accomplish with your infant, but don't be discouraged if they don't get on board right away with the idea that you can heal your child's allergies. The proof will be in your progress. Finally, make sure to educate yourself on what is really happening with your infant and what is safe for them. Watching this presentation is a great start and a boost to get you going, but when it comes to our babies, we can't be too careful, so keep learning. Finally, here's some great resources that could be helpful for you. The foodallergy.org support groups and also the kidswithfoodallergies.org is a great way to find other families that are dealing with kids with food allergies and what they recommend for preventative and treatment protocols. Kelly Mom is great for nursing moms. There's some GAPS information and then some resources for finding a functional medical practitioner in your area. Thank you so much for listening and good luck.